Welcome to the video, guys. So in today's video we're going to be installing a JWB Customs 2-inch suspension lift kit on an SQ Grand Vitara. So that's 98 to 05. JWB Customs have sent the lift kit out to me today to install, and I've got a discount code for you guys. So if you use Backyard10 on their website, you'll get 10% off this lift kit. At first glance of the kit, it looks pretty good. Everything's nicely powder coated in black and looks good. I'll just run you through all the parts they send out with the kit. With this kit, they send you out some camber bolts, which are essential to getting the camber of the front wheels correct after lift, reducing your tyre wear. Now, the front struts, comparing them to your normal standard ones, you'll note that they are a little bit longer in length. That's to account for obviously the new ride height and to give you a little bit of extra articulation after the kit goes in. These coils have a similar height to your standard ones once you've got them both out of the car and compare them with each other. However, these ones are a little bit heavier duty, which gives you your extra 2-inch lift. The rear shocks, much like the front struts, are just a little bit longer in length and travel to give you that extra flex and articulation, as well as keeping the shock central at ride height. Comparing the rear coils to the standard rear coils, you'll note that they are a little bit longer and a little bit heavier duty, and that's to help you maintain lots of flex in the rear of the car whilst also being able to carry a slight heavier load. If you'd like one of these lift kits, go to jwbcustoms.com, go to SQ Grand Vitara, then suspension lift kits, scroll on down until you see the complete JWB Customs lift kit. Select what model you have, 5 doors and what engine size, add that to cart, view your cart, and then in the promo codes type in Backyard10 all caps and hit apply. Then you'll save 10% off your order. This is the mighty SQ Grand Vitara that will be getting the JWB Customs 2-inch lift kit installed in it today. It's my mate's car, and other than oversized tyres and a nudge bar, the car is completely stock suspension wise. It's a perfect candidate for this kit to go in. So without further ado, we'll crack right on to the installation and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so first things first, we're going to replace the rear suspension. So to remove the rear suspension in these Grand Vitaras, it's pretty easy. The first thing you need to do is remove the rear shock on each side of the car. To do that, you've got a bolt at the bottom and then you've got a nut on top. Now, it's probably a good idea to spray all of your suspension components with WD-40 or some sort of penetrant before you start this job. As you can see here, the top nut was quite rusted on and it became quite an issue to get off. I had to grab the bottom of the shock, or just underneath where the nut is, with vice grips and stop it from spinning around. But yeah, eventually I did manage to get the rear shock out, thankfully, without having to cut it. The next step is to undo this bracket here off the handbrake cable, otherwise with the extra flex from the lift kit you will be stretching your handbrake cable. So with those two jobs now done, the only thing that's holding the spring in is the weight of the car. So I'm putting a jack underneath the chassis rail on the side that we're working on. Whilst doing that, I'm checking that brake line that goes to the rear diff there with my hand, just to make sure there's not too much tension on it. And basically just keep jacking the car up until all of the load and weight is off the rear coil spring, and then you should be able to lift up the spring and pop it out just like that. Just as a safety note, once the spring is out, the car can come down a lot further if the jack fails, so make sure you have a jack stand or some other safety measure in place. There is the standard coil next to the new 2-inch lifted coil. So just a quick little safety note here, guys. Don't work in the position that I'm working in. Don't work over the top of the wheel. I'm only doing it so that I don't block the camera. Ideally, I'd be working where the camera is sitting. I do have a jack stand sitting underneath the tow bar of the car, so that if the jack failed, it couldn't fall down and completely squish me. So yeah, just a safety note. Don't work in the line of fire, and make sure you have jack stands set up just in case your jack fails. Now we need to install the new shiny parts, which is the fun part. Now it's basically, well, it is exactly the same as what we just did, but in reverse. However, we will need to jack up the car a little bit more so we can fit that new extended spring over. So once you got it seated over like that, you just want to line the bottom of the coil up with the sort of, I guess, marking in the diff. You'll see it sits in just like it did there. Then we can lower the car down onto that rear spring, and once that's done, we can move on to throwing in the new rear shock. There you go, new shock is longer than the old shock. Now to install it, obviously we want to install the top first using the new provided rubber bushers as well as the new nuts. Instead of a nylock nut at the top there, we're using a normal nut and then using a thin nut over the top to lock it off. And then you want to install the bottom bolt and tighten that back up. Now, as you can see from this little clip here, that is how you need to install your bushers and your nuts for the top. Now we just need to crack on and do the other side. So now that we've done the rear of the car, we've turned it around and we just have to move on to the front. First up, we're just going to jack up the car, take the wheel off, get a jack stand under there, and then carry on. So now that we're onto the front of the car, what you want to do is obviously jack it up and then put a jack stand under it to make it safe. Then after you've done that, remove the front wheel from the car. With the front wheel rolled out of the way, we can move on to disconnecting the sway bar. So we just want to undo that and swing it out of the way. You'll need to undo it on the other side as well. Once that's done, you can crack your tie rod end ball joint and then swing the tie rod end out of the way. From there, we want to crack the lower ball joint, however leave the nut on, as we don't want it all sort of falling apart just yet. It's just the easiest time to crack that lower ball joint. Once that lower ball joint's cracked, we're going to move on to taking our front hub off sort of thing and taking the circlip off around the CV shaft. Once we've got that off, we need to move on to disconnecting our brake caliper from the hub and the strut. So just undo 2 bolts on the caliper and pull it out of the way. From there, we want to look at these lower control arm bolts. So we don't want to take the bolts out. We're not replacing the control arm or anything like that. We just need to crack both of the bolts so that when it comes time, the control arm will swing away rather than trying to stretch and rip on the bushes. So with that, disconnect the 2 bolts that hold the strut onto the hub, but after you get the top bolt out, you'll want to slide the jack underneath the lower control arm, just like I'm doing here. Jack under the control arm, it's time to take out that last bolt. Once that's off and the lower ball joint bolts out, you can just sort of pivot and pull the hub out and down, just like that. Once we let the jack down, the control arm swings out of the way and the spring falls out. The only thing left down the bottom now is the strut, and to remove that we need to take this big nut off in the engine bay here, and then the strut will just pull out. Now that's good to reinstall if this top mount is in good condition for you. On this car, the top rubber bush up here was sort of torn and ripped to shreds, so it was due for replacement. And to replace it, you need to remove the strut bar, and then once you got the strut bar out of the way, there's 3 bolts that you can get to. Undo them, throw the new one in, and then proceed with reinstalling the strut. So as you can see, the new strut is a little bit longer than the one we've just pulled out. With that replaced, we can now install the new strut. Obviously, it's just the reversal of what we did to remove the old strut. With that installed, we move down to the bottom. Now, the new spring, as we can see here, is a little bit tighter wound than the original one. We need to throw the new spring in around the bump stop up the top there, and then lift the lower control arm up to meet the spring, then place a jack and jack it up a bit. Once you've got to that stage, level out the CV shaft and tilt the ball joint out towards you a little bit. Once you've done that, you can lift up and sort of push on the hub, and then do up that bottom nut on the ball joint so it can't all fall apart. Then jack up the control arm a bit more and line up that bottom bolt hole for the strut, and tap that bolt into place. Now that we've got that sorted, we need to install the camber bolt. Now I'm not going to explain it too much. There's heaps of videos out and online about how to install a camber bolt, but basically that tab on the camber bolt needs to be facing inward towards, I guess, towards the engine bay in the top hole on both sides of the car. Then when you do that, you need to tighten the bolt down nice and tight, sort of to clamp everything down, break off the nut, and then spin the head of the bolt, and you'll notice that the hub tilts in and out. If you need further clarification on how it works, just Google camber bolts, and there's heaps of videos that explain it much better than I've just done now. But yeah, hopefully that should help you. Now that you've done that, just nip up that bottom ball joint. Don't do it up nice and tight just yet. Now we need to reinstall the brake caliper. So you want to put the 2 slide pins back in and do them up. You can tighten those down or do them to the torque spec at the moment. Then reinstall the brake hose on the strut. Place the tie rod end on, and again just nip it up. Don't do it really tight yet. Then we want to put the circlip back on, making sure that you have the washer behind the circlip that's required there. Then you want to put the hub cover on and do those bolts up tight. Then once you've done that, you can throw the wheel back on and tighten down the wheel nuts, and then drop it on the ground and proceed to doing all the same fun things on the other side. And then once you've done the other side, you can swing up and reconnect the sway bar. So there you have it, it's done, but I did need to reinstall the strut bar once both sides were done, seeing as though I had to replace those rubber caps. Once you've done the other side, that is the lift done. However, you will need to go over everything and torque them with the weight of the car on. All suspension components need to be torqued with the weight of the car. To find the torque specs, just get your workshop manual out. I'm not going to tell you all the torque specs because, you know, slight different models and stuff could have different torque specifications, but yeah, go over with a torque wrench, torque all of those safety critical suspension components to the correct torque setting. And now here you are. Here is the end result of the Grand Vitara with 2-inch lift installed. As you can see, it sits quite nice and has a good ride height. So there you go, that is how you install a 2-inch lift kit in your SQ Grand Vitara. Now remember, once you've got the lift kit installed, you will need to go and get a wheel alignment to make sure that your camber and your toe gets adjusted accordingly to the new suspension geometry. And obviously we have installed the JWB Customs lift kit. So if you want one of these, go to their website and use backyard10 in the code on this lift kit, and you'll get 10% off thanks to them. But without further ado, you're obviously interested to see how this performs off-road. I have driven up and down the road and it's pretty good, so we'll go and see how it performs out in the bush. So there you have it, guys. That is how you install a 2-inch lift kit on your SQ Grand Vitara. And obviously this is just a bit of an overview of how the JWB lift kit works. I think it performs pretty well off-road and handles quite well on-road. So a big thanks to JWB Customs for sending me out the kit to install and test out. If it wasn't for them, this video wouldn't be being made right now. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If this video helped you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned because we've got more exciting stuff coming up.